What's up, guys? I did a status the other day asking you guys about questions you'd like answered or my opinion on to do with mindset in and preparation for jiu-jitsu competition. So I got a lot of good questions. I'm going to do this in two parts because there was actually a lot of questions. So I'm going to run through the first 11. Okay. The first question was, how do I deal with nerves? When I first started jiu-jitsu, I found that I was extremely nervous, but it was because a lot of my nerves come because I put a lot of pressure on myself. I expected, I wanted to do really well because I knew I was doing well in training and I was putting the work in. So I wanted to do really well in competition, and therefore it made me nervous because then I would start thinking, oh, what if this happened? What if this happened? What if I lose in front of these people? And it was a bad mindset to go in then, because then I would have big adrenaline dumps. My body would lose energy really quickly. I would feel shit towards the fight. Even the days before, I'd feel sick in the stomach. It wasn't a really good mindset to go in with. So what I slowly started doing is I started trying to change my mindset. So before competition, I started trying to think of the positive things in the match rather than the negative. At first I was thinking, what if he triangles me? What if he pulls guard and I get submitted straight away? And then as soon as I started having those thoughts, I would start eliminating them. So if I was sitting there thinking about that, I'd consciously just realise that, I'd block it out of my head, and then I would start thinking positively, if this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. And slowly started eliminating the negative thoughts in my head, the negative voice. That was the first thing I started doing. The second thing was removing the pressure. And I remember I was at the 2010 Abu Dhabi Pro World Championships as a blue belt, and I was waiting for my fight. I was in the final, and one of my good friends and black belt, Mick Wilson, said to me, he said, look, don't take this the wrong way, but no one gives a shit whether you win or lose. And I was kind of like, what do you mean by that? And he goes, what he means is only you really care. The guys watching it, people watching it, they watch it because they want to watch the jiu-jitsu. They're not really caring about this blue belt, what he does, whether he wins or loses. And at that time I thought, people genuinely care. But they don't. They just want to watch jiu-jitsu. The crowd is there. They want to watch a good match in jiu-jitsu. Whether you win or lose, it doesn't matter. Most of my compliments from my matches are from the matches I've lost. So that really helps understand the only pressure that I have was the pressure I was putting on myself. So from that moment I stopped thinking about, I have to win, I've got to do this, and started thinking more along the lines of, I want to put a good fight on, I want to put a good performance in my jiu-jitsu and display my expression of jiu-jitsu to the crowd. Okay. What do I do in between matches? In between matches I try and stay warm. I usually put a jumper on and stuff just to keep my muscles, all the blood in my muscles, and I just try and relax. I don't really think about too much. If I know who I'm fighting next, which generally you don't because I'm sort of waiting to see, I just, if I know, then I'll try and develop a strategy depending on who it is. If not, I just try and relax and try and get my breath back. Keep walking around. I don't like sitting down. Try and walk around, just focus, keep excited. What music do I listen to? It always changes. Sometimes if I feel like I want to get a little bit pumped up, if I feel really flat, then I might listen to something like Metallica. If I feel like I'm a little bit too pumped up and I want to relax a little bit, I'll listen to some kind of love music. I don't know, some really soppy shit. Just that almost takes me out of the stressful environment that I'm in. Something that just makes me feel kind of happy, or just in a different situation. How do I deal with losses? I deal very well with losses. I was a blue belt the first time I ever lost, and it was the absolute division of the Abu Dhabi Pro. And I was kind of nervous because I wasn't sure how I was going to take a loss. At the time, I actually had the mindset that I was going to go through my whole career winning every single match. So it was a bit of a shock to me, but it was also a lot of my pressure just dropped off the shoulders because I felt really good that I'd actually had my loss and it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was. Since then, I take my losses really well. I'm always looking at my losses more than anything else. I always try and figure out, okay, what did I do wrong? How was my mindset? How was this? Blah, blah, blah. So I'm always trying to learn from it. There's usually a reason you're lost, and I always try and find that reason. How do I warm up before a match? Okay, until brown belt, I never did warm up, which was really bad. I actually thought warming up was just to prevent your muscles from getting injured, until I met Sebastian Bosch, and he really educated me on this on this topic, and he sort of taught me how to warm up. So, and since then I've been doing it, and it's worked really well. So basically, I'll start off slow so I don't hurt myself, and I'll pick up the intensity. I'll try and roll, like warm up as if I'm rolling. So as if what I want to really do out on the match, I'm going to try and do my warm up. So, and what it does, it just gets all the blood to the muscles and makes sure you don't get a big adrenaline dump, you don't get lactic acid build up, and so I try and do a nice warm up, maybe it's 5 to 10 minutes, get a good sweat going, feel a bit exhausted, and try and get that, like, the nerves out. If I'm feeling really nervous, then I'll have a big warm up. If I'm not feeling that nervous, I won't have a massive warm up, because usually you'll the more nervous you are, the bigger adrenaline dump you're going to have. So you want to have a good warm up before that. You don't want to go into the match cold and really use a lot of energy, and your muscles are all going to seize up really quickly, and you're going to feel really bad. That's why a lot of people feel worst in their first match, because they use a lot of energy, they have adrenaline dump. But if they have a really good warm up and you have your first match off on before you go out there in your warm up, then you're going to feel a lot better. How do I do with fighting a guy? Okay, how do I deal with fighting a guy that had previously beaten me? Well, for me, that's it's a lot easier, because I don't have the pressure. I've already been beaten by this guy, so I've got nothing to worry about in terms of pressure-wise. Plus, generally, when you get beaten by a guy, you get to see what he's really good at more than what you are, because most likely you are defending his attacks. So you've already had a chance to study your loss, study his moves and stuff like that, more than he's probably concentrate on you. Generally, when you beat someone, you don't really think about him too much, unless it's a really tough match. And it's also worse when you've already beaten someone. You've got to fight him again, because you've got the chance to lose. You've got nothing to win here and all to lose. So I actually prefer being in a situation where I've just lost to the guy and fighting him again. Okay, how do I deal with the urge to give my opponent a blowjob while passing his guard? This question's obviously from Classic Grappler. It's a situation that he's struggling with. I don't have those urges, so I'm not really sure how to answer that, but you probably want to see a psychiatrist about that, and try and figure that out and stop sucking so many dicks. Okay, question 9. What do I eat on the day of the competition? I try and keep my diet very similar to the diet leading up to the competition. I don't want to have something that's going to change my metabolism around. So what I mean by that is, if I'm eating a certain amount of food all week or all month, and then I change it up, it may affect my stomach a little bit. So I try and eat what I'm generally used to eating in the lead up. What mine is usually is, like, I'll have like bacon and eggs in the morning, maybe some spinach and avocado, but not too much, depending on what my weight's like. I usually fight upper division, like I usually weigh in about 83, 84 kilograms and fight under 88, because I don't like cutting. But now I'm cutting to 79 because I'm sick of fighting guys that are a lot bigger and stronger than me. Okay, what time in the fight do I stop feeling nervous? This question is from my mum. I'm not even sure why she's asking this. I don't feel nervous out there when I fight. As soon as I walk out there, my mind's very clear. I try and clear my whole mind and relax everything, and I try not to get emotional or anything. I don't like being really pumped up. I like being relaxed. Okay, and like Bruce Lee said, a quick temper will be a fast undoing of the opponent, something like that. Which basically means if you go out there, with emotion, you're angry, and you put a lot of energy in things you shouldn't. You tense up when you shouldn't. So I'm trying to be really relaxed, trying to think really clear, and just do what I need to do. I don't think much. I don't have a strategy going in there most times. It's just I trust my instincts to be able to solve the puzzle that's put in front of me by my opponent. Okay. Last one, phases of training, normal phases and before comp. Okay, normal phases, I do a lot of working on the parts of my game that I need to work on, like my worst part of my game. So I try and work that. I try and play around with new concepts and stuff like that, try and build like a different game plan. But as it gets closer to the comp, I stop doing that. So I spend a lot of time rolling in my normal time, but then I shorten my rolls and I make them more intense, and I play more assertive. So I try and play the game that I want to play in the competition. That way I don't develop bad habits and go in the competition too relaxed, and I'm more assertive in the competition. So that's the first 11 questions. I'm going to do another 10 questions next time, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if there's anything that you have any questions on and stuff. Also, make sure you subscribe to my website, www.kitdalebjj.com, and my YouTube channel, okay, which is Kit Warchild Dale. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.